The Umbraco CMS lets you create websites of all shapes and sizes. Be it for big corporations or minor shops, Umbraco is the tool for you. My name is Sophie, and in this video I'll take you through building a small and simple website on your local machine. This should serve as a great introduction to Umbraco, or perhaps as a refresher if you're already familiar with the CMS. Let's get to it. The very first thing we need to do is to install Umbraco CMS on our local machine. For that, I have opened the Umbraco CMS documentation here in my browser, and we'll click on Install Umbraco CMS, which will give us a little guide on how we install Umbraco. So the first step is to open a command line, and we'll do that from a folder here where we want to install the Umbraco. So we will enter cmd up here. And let's see what it says. The next step is, yes, so we'll have to say .NET new install Umbraco templates. There we go. So this will install the latest version of the Umbraco CMS templates for us. And then we'll need to create a new project. So we'll say .NET new Umbraco name, and we'll call it Umbraco skills. So here you can choose whichever name you prefer. And now it will install the project. There we go, the project was created. Then we will need to enter into the folder. Here we go. And then we'll say .NET run to run the installation. Okay, so now the project is up and running. Then we will copy the localhost here. All right, so let's go through the installation wizard here. We'll enter a name, email, and then a password. There we go. The next step is we choose the level of consent for telemetry data that will be sent to Umbraco HQ, so we can collect data about how people are using Umbraco. The default here is level 3, which sends a lot of information. You can choose whichever level you want to be on here. Next step is the database configuration. By default, we'll use an SQLite database, and we'll call it Umbraco skills, same as a project name. And you can choose whichever database you prefer here. All right, so let's install it. Yes, and we will need to log in with the credential we just created. Great. That was it. Now we've installed Umbraco and we have arrived into the back office. From the Umbraco back office, you have access to everything you need in order to build an Umbraco website. The first section we'll see here is the content section, where we will be creating some content that will be displayed on our website. We also have some links to different kinds of resources here that you can explore on your own. There is a section for all the media files. There is a settings section here, which is where we will be building the whole structure behind the website. Then there is also sections for add-on packages, users, members, and a translation section as well. We won't be touching these 4 sections in this video. All right. Now, so this is the back office. Let's just take a quick look at how our front end is looking. Yes, so this is what a blank Umbraco CMS page looks like. This means that there is not yet any content published, but we're about to change that, of course. So let's head back to the back office here. So the first thing we'll need to do in order to create content is to create a document type. All content in Umbraco CMS is based on document type. So this is the first thing that we'll need to do, and it actually gives us a good explanation here of what needs to happen. So we'll head into the settings section, and there's a document types folder here. We'll click the plus sign, and we'll create a document type with a template. All right, so the first document type we'll be creating will be for our landing page. So we will call it home page. Then we will add a house icon here. There we go. We'll add a short description. So this was all for editing purposes. So adding a description is what will help your editors to figure out when to use which type of content. This is used for the main landing page of the website. All right, so now we'll need to add some data types, some property editors, which will allow content editors to add different types of content into this document type. So we will call the first group here content. And we will add a property which we will call site title. And we will choose a general text string for this property. We will add another property here, which we will call site subtitle. And for this, we will also be adding a text string. There we go. Actually, I think we want to make this site title mandatory. So it means that when you create a landing page, you have to at least add a site title in order to be able to publish it. All right, then we want to add some sort of a link to this page. So we will call it page link. And for this, we will choose a content picker, which should allow us to link to a different piece of content in our website. And finally, we also want to add an image to our front page. So we'll call that site title image. And we will use an image media picker for that. So for the image media picker, we want to add additional configuration. So we can do that by clicking on the name of the editor here, and it will open the data type here, which we can then configure to our needs. And the one thing that we want to enable here is to enable the focal point. This will allow us to show, to control which part of the image is in focus when we add it to our website. And we will also want to add some crops to it. So we will add one for the site title image. Let's just call it this one. And we will say it should be 600 and 1200. Add. And then we want something for a minor image as well, which will just be 250 and 250. All right. So that was the special configuration we want to make on our media picker. Let's save the configuration and add the property to our document type. Okay, this was the document type for the homepage. Let's save it here. And you can see it's now added into our folder over here. Now, in order to be able to create some content with this, we need to open the structure tab up here and allow for this type of content to be created in the root of our website. Let's save it again. And let's jump back into the content section and try to create some content. And you can see that we now have our homepage document type available here with the description that we added. Great. So we will call this a welcome page, and the site title will be Umbraco skills. Let's level up Umbraco. Let's leave the page link blank for now, and the image as well. We'll save and publish. There we go. So now we've published a piece of content. Let's go ahead and see how the front end looks. Click on info up here, and let's follow the link to the page here. All right, at least the default page is gone now, and we just have a blank page. So this is because we have yet to fill out the template associated with our document type. So the template file here is what controls what goes onto the front end. So let's just try to create a little template text here. And hello world. We'll save it and then go ahead and refresh the front end. And we have our hello world here. So the template is the one that we'll be filling in now and making it look nice and pretty with the content coming from our welcome page here. All right, let's head back to the settings section and open our template. Here we are. So instead of hello world, we want to display the content that we've added to the landing page. So in order to do that, we need to add our type up here. So that would be home page. When we've added this, we can actually use the different properties that we've added to the homepage document type. So instead of hello world here, we will type model.name, which will give us the name of the content page, of the content item. So we call that welcome. So if we go and refresh the front end now, it should be welcome. There we go. All right. So next up is that we are going to add some more content to it. So we had a site title. Let's call that, let's make that an H2 here. And then we will say model.site title. Save. And let's see, Umbraco skills. So the way to do this is to say add model dot and then the alias of the property that you want to add using camel keys. At least this is the case for simple property editors like the text string, which is our site title and our site subtitle. You can always go and view the document type here and see the alias here. Yes. All right. So we want to add the site subtitle as well. So let's do that. Let's just make that a paragraph. There we go. Add model dot site subtitle. All right. Another way to add this, it's more automatic kind of way, is to use the insert button up here. Select value and then choose which field. So we have our document type homepage. If we choose that, then we get a list of all the different properties available on there. If we click site title, we can select that. We can also set a default value. Should the site title property be empty, we can make it recursive, so it inherits down in the content tree. And finally, down here, we will get a little sneak peek of the snippet that will be added when we click submit. You'll notice that the code snippet added using the insert button up here is a little different compared to what we've added so far in the template. The ones we've used up here uses what we call strongly typed models. We can use these when we know exactly which kind of model we're using and what the aliases are of these properties. The method used down here is a more dynamic approach, which accesses the value of a content property identified by the alias, which we're setting here. So we would actually be able to use the method here without defining the model up here in the Umbraco view page. So it is really up to you whether you use the model.value approach, which you can use the insert button for up here, or if you use the model dot and then the name of the properties here. For the remainder of this video, I will be using the model dot approach as I find that more simple to use. All right, let's try to save our template here and refresh our front end. Okay, now we have the name of the page, we have the site title, and we have the site top, and we have the site subtitle. Okay, this is starting to look a little bit more like a website. Now, we did also add a image picker here to our document type. So let's go ahead and add an image as well and get that rendered on the front end. So first up, we need to choose an image. We will click on choose, and we can either click upload up here to add an image, or we can simply drag an image in like this and drop it here. And we'll need to select the image like this, and we'll submit it, and it's added to our welcome page. Let's save and publish, and let's head back to our template file here. So adding an image is a little different than adding a simple text field. So in order to figure out how to add different kinds, how to render different types of content in your template, I recommend that you keep the Umbraco documentation close at hand. So we still have that up here. So we were using the media picker. So if we search for the media picker here in the search bar, we should find the media picker article right here, which will give us some information about how to configure the property and the different options that are available to you when you configure it. And when we scroll down here, we will have some examples of how to render the image as well. There's a few different options: multiple enabled, without models builder, and we're using strongly typed, so that means with the models builder, and we're not adding multiple. So multiple disabled with models builder is the one that we're looking for here. So let's start by just copying this entire thing. There we go. And open our template again and paste it in. Right. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna move the using statement up here with the others. There we are. And then let's see. So here it is using model.media, but here we need to change this to the alias of our media picker. So if we save this real quick and go into our document type and check out what it looked like, site title image. All right. So we will add that instead, site title image. There we go. And instead of this variable, let's call it title image. So that means we'll need to change this one as well. All right. Yeah. So if there is a media entry, then we'll want to display an image using the media URL and like so. All right, let's save it and see if this renders on the front end. Oh, I can see that I misspelled this one. Title image, it should be instead. Alrighty, let's try one more time. Yes, we now have our image here. Okay, so it's a little small, but that's because the code that we pasted has this little style here. We'll remove that one, save it, and have another look. Okay, that's a bit bigger now, the image. Okay, so when we created the, or when we added the media picker here to our document type, we set some crops. So let's go ahead and revisit those. So we added the site title image crop and a minor image crop. So let's try to apply this site title image crop to our image on the homepage. Yes, so for that, we will need to go back to the documentation and scroll down to the using crops option. So instead of the media URL, which is used up here, we are gonna use the get crop URL. And so let's just copy this part and open our template one more time. And this is the one we will place. And then in here, we need to add the alias of the crop, which was site title image. All right, let's save it. And our image should now be a little smaller. Yes, there we go. Now it is using the dimensions that we set on the crop. Great. Now we also enabled focal point. So we can use that by going into the content again here, opening the image. And the focal point is this little dot here that we can drag around. So you can see when I move it around, it will actually show us up here how it will then look on the front end. So let's see, we will definitely want the unicorn head, but also the little logo down here. Yes, let's go with this and let's submit it. Save and publish again. And let's see if we refresh it here. Yes, you can see that the focal point moves and we now have the unicorn head and the little sticker in focus. Great. Okay, so this still does not really look like a real website. So we'll change that now, and we'll do that by adding some pre-made HTML that I will copy in to our template. Until now, we've been working directly in the back office here, which is entirely possible. You can also, if you prefer, work with these template files in a code editor on your machine. So let's do that for this next part. So I have the project files open in Visual Studio Code, which is the preferred editor that I use to work with on my local machine. You can use whichever you prefer. In the project files, we can find the template files under views, and you can see we have our homepage view here with the things that we've added in the back office. Right. So I have the pre-made template here, which I will copy in. There is a link to these template files as well in the description of this video, so you can follow along with exactly what I'm building. So then I will paste this in and replace it with what we've built so far. Here we go. So this HTML template includes links to some images, some style sheets, and also some JS scripts down here that we will also need to add to our installation. So I will grab the folder where the project is installed, which is here, and then I will copy in the images and assets folder from the HTML template, and I'll put them into the www root. There we go. So now all the reference to these images and style sheets and scripts should all be in order. So let's go ahead and save the homepage template and have a look at the front end again. Okay, you can see it now looks very different from what we had before. And this is all some static placeholder text that we still have yet to update. So let's go ahead and jump back to our template and start filling in our values here. So we want the first one here to be model.site title. And for the title up here, yes, let's do the same. We also want model.name here. And we want to include Umbraco skills, which is like the name of this project. There we go. Then we have the subtitle here. Let's replace that with our value as well. Model.site subtitle, if I remember correctly. Yes, let's leave the link here blank for now. And for the image, so instead of us having to do this again, we can find a little snippet for this in the template files as well. And let me crop that in, copy it here, replace this one. Oh, let's just indent this a bit. All right, so we have our if statement here, and of course we first also need our variable defining the property. Here we go, site title image, title image, yes, and it gets the crop URL, which should be site title image. There we go. Right. And let's just leave these sections down here blank. We don't have any content to fill into them anyways. All right, so once you've saved it, let's go back to the front end and refresh it. And we now have our own image here, and we also have our Umbraco skills heading and our subtitle. Yes. So now we have a website. We have a front end or at least a landing page for a website. Let's create one more page to this website. So in order to do that, we'll need to create a new document type. So we'll head back to the Umbraco back office, back into the settings section. Oh, and it looks like we'll need to log in again. No problem. Let's just do this. That's because we've been inactive for too long. Then it wants us to log back in. There we go. And to the settings section again, and next to document types, let's create a new document type with a template. And we will call this one content page. Alrighty. This is used for generic content pages. All right, let's see if we can find something simple here. Yeah, let's just use this one. There we go. All right, and we'll start with a group here, which we will call content. And we will add a property, which we'll call main content. And this one will be a rich text editor. So a rich text editor allows you to add more rich text. So in the content section, you can create bold text, you can create cursive, make it left or right aligned, center aligned if you want. You can make bullet lists, kind of what you would do in a regular text editor. So before we add this rich text editor property, let's just configure it a little here. So this is what will be in our toolbar for now, but I also want to be able to add the justify alignment, which I'll add next to these. Let's also add an option for a undo redo. So I'm adding a new group here, and undo redo options. Yes, I think that is what we want to add. Okay, and everything else looks fine down here. Great. All right, you can customize this rich text editor however you want. You can also add several rows. You can remove the options from here and add some of the available items up here. All right, I'm happy with this property editor. Let's save it. And let's say this is mandatory for the content page, so we get some kind of content. Submit it. And we also want an image on this one, and we will call this one featured image. And we will select the media, the image media picker, which is the same one as we used on the homepage, which is fine because it already have these defined crops that we can use. Excellent. Save, submit it. And that is it for the content page. Short and simple. Let's save it. Now, in order to be able to create a content page, we need to go back to the home page here, open the structure tab again, and then we need to allow for the content page to be created underneath the home page. So we'll select the content page here, save the home page, and then we can go to the content section, and next to the welcome page, we'll click plus, and we can create our content page. Let's go ahead and do that. And we'll just call this some random content. And this is something pretty amazing that will level up our Umbraco skills. All right. And let's also add an image here. I'll drag and drop in a new one with some Umbraco stickers. That one. Let's submit it, and let's go ahead and see if we want to set a different focal point. No, I think it's fine leaving the coffee sticker here in the center. Great. Let's save and publish the content page. Now, if we look at this on the front end, it will be blank because we have yet to fill in the template. So let's do that in Visual Code actually. So we have, this is our home page. Let's open our content page here. And we'll want to use strongly typed. So I'll add content page here to the view model. Right, and then let's paste in the generic template from the template files. Here we go. All right, let's fill in our dynamic values here. This will just be model.name, so the name of our content page, which should then be random content. And here we want to add the content from our rich text editor, which we called main content. Yeah, actually, let's just get rid of these HTML tags. We won't need those, as the rich text editor will take care of that for us. All right. For the image, yes, let's copy and paste what we had over here in the home page. So we need the using statement. Here we need a variable, which we'll add up here. And the variable, let's call this featured image instead, which is also what we called the property here. And let's also copy in this bit here. All right. Now let's just paste it below here, so make sure that we don't mess up the HTML tags. Yeah, it looks pretty similar, so we can just get rid of this bit. And let's see, this one needs to be the featured image. There we go. And instead of the site title image crops, we're gonna use the minor image crop here. Let's just go back to the back office and double check this was indeed what the crop was called. Open the image media picker. Minor image is the alias. Yes, we can actually just copy paste it here, so we get the correct one. There we go. That is our content page set up with our values. Let's have a look at the front end when we refresh. All right, we have our content, our values here. Not sure what that one is. Let's check it out. There we go. Yes, okay, so the reason this is not looking like our homepage is because we're still missing all the HTML tags around it, all the references to the CSS and to the scripts. But we don't want to just add the same code to the content page template as we did to the homepage template. Instead, we want to create what's called a master template. So a master template will allow us to use the same surrounding HTML tags, the head, the scripts, and the style sheets to a master template, and then ensure that they're used on all the content pages on our website. So to create a master template, we are going back to the Umbraco backoffice. Yes. So in the settings section here, next to the templates folder, we'll click the plus, and up here we will create a master template. Now, let's just go ahead and save this for now, because we are gonna take all the content from the home page here, and we will copy that into the master template. Here we go. So the elements here that needs to be shared between the two templates, the two types of content, is, for example, it's the HTML and body tags, then it's all the script tags here, it's the footer. So let's get rid of this, and this section, and also this section up here. There we go. Because the head, yes, these tags should also be shared between. All right, so now this is what our master template will look like. So in order to render the content from the other templates that will be using this master template, we are going to use the sections button up here and add this one that's called render child template. It will add this render body method here, which will then be rendering whatever HTML tags and raster that we put into the home page and the content page. So let's go ahead and save our master template, and then we'll clean up the home page, because here we can now get rid of everything except for these sections here that we still want on our homepage. So let's see. Yes, that looks correct. And let's just remove all this indentation. Here we go. Yes, let's save our homepage. And the final thing we need is to set a master template. So if we click here, we will select the master as the template here. Choose, and you can see that the layout now changes to use our master template. Let's go ahead and save our homepage. And if we go to the front page, the homepage front end here, and refresh, we should hopefully see the same. Yes, so the homepage looks the same, even though it is now using the master template. All right, let's go to the content page and make sure this one also uses our master template. There we go. And let's try to refresh our content page, which should now hopefully look a little better. There we go. We have the footer shared between the two sides here. And the styling, fonts, and all that is also shared between the two sides. All right, so that was the master template. Now this is starting to come together really nicely. There's a few more things that I think we should change here. So for example, on the home page here, we have a button which currently does nothing. So let's change that. On our homepage document type, we have added a content picker, the page link. So if we go to the content section, choose our welcome page here. Let's actually choose a piece of content for this page link. And let's choose our content page. There we go. Now, in order for this to be added to the button, we'll go ahead and change our template. So we have our homepage template here, and the button that we're looking for is this one. We need to somehow get the value from our content picker into this template. So if we were to just say model.page link, let's see how the front end looks. Yeah, so this will just print out the model of the content page. So not what we're looking for in this case. We're looking for a URL. So the way to get that is similar with how we got the image up here. So we'll create a variable. We'll call it page link. And then we'll say model.page link. All right, so now that we have this one, we are going to use the HTML tags, which are already here. And then we'll make an if statement here. And in here, we'll want to check whether the page link variable is empty. So if it's not empty, then we want to display the button. So let's paste this into here. Let's make sure we fix the indentation. Here we go. And in here is where we're going to add the link. So we're going to add the variable page. Oh, we need the @ sign page link dot URL. Here we go. And for the name of the button, we could leave it as get started, or we could make it a little more dynamic and use the name of the content item that's chosen. So that would be page link dot name. There we go. Yes. Oh, this one needs to be null instead of empty. Yes, let's save the changes and jump back to the home page and refresh. All right. The button now says random content, and let's see. It gives us the random content page that we picked with the content picker in the content section. Now, we still have some static content on this website. For example, down here in the footer, this text here is pretty static. It comes from our master template. In here, it's the text right here. So let's try to make that dynamic as well. So let's head back to the back office and we'll make some changes to the homepage document type. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a new tab up here that we'll call General, which will then hold all of our existing properties here. And then we'll make a new tab and we'll call it Shared. So it will be for shared properties. And then we'll make a new group and call it Footer. And here we'll make a short message property with just a text string. And let's submit it and save it. So the idea is here that once we've saved the homepage document type, on the content, when we make the homepage, the welcome page here, we can fill out all the general properties for the homepage, and then we have the shared tab over here with a short message. Let's call it, this is our customized and dynamic footer text. So the idea with this property is that we only fill it in one place on the landing page and the home page here, but it will still show on all pages because it's a footer text, but you only have to change it in one place. So how would that work? Well, right now we have the footer text, the footer is in the master template, which is down here. So what we'll do is we'll get rid of this, and then we're going to use the insert button. We'll select value, then we'll choose a field from a document type, which is our homepage document type, and on the list we'll find our short message. So we will make it recursive, which means that if this is not found on the current model, it will fall back up in the content tree to wherever this message is set. So let's go ahead and add this and save the value here. So you'll notice that the code we've added now is using model.value, so not the strongly typed models that we've been using throughout the project up until now. So this is because the master template is not tied to a specific model, as it is a template that will be used across multiple models. And that's why it's called model.value, and then it is picking up the short message property from wherever it finds it, which we know is then on the homepage document type. All right, let's see how it looks on the front end. We'll refresh it and scroll to find the footer down here. Here we have it. And let's check out the content page as well. We still have the old one here, so let's try to refresh it. And we also get our new dynamic footer text here. So how do we do that? Well, there is the fallback that's put in here, meaning that also on the content page, we didn't define the short message property, so it will fall back to ancestors. So if we go back to the content tree, we can see here the footer short message property does not exist on the random content, so it'll go up in the tree until it finds the property with some values, which will then be the welcome page, where we have filled in the property. And there we have it. We have created a super simple little Umbraco website here, where we've gone through and learned some of the more basic concepts when working with an Umbraco CMS website. Where you take the project from here is entirely up to you. Do you want to build a blog, add a gallery, or perhaps explore some of the many add-on packages available for the Umbraco CMS? It's really up to you, and the possibilities are endless. It's been a pleasure guiding you through building this simple Umbraco website. Remember to subscribe to the channel and keep an eye out for new material. See you around, and happy coding!